All right. So before we get started, we just wanted to let you guys know that me and Shannon here have a podcast. Our platform here is to speak about twin flames, divine partners, spirituality, non-duality, and it's a safe space for us to just talk about whatever we want to talk about. It's not an uncompromising message that we have. We just kind of let everybody say what they want to say. But today, we got some special guests on, and we're going to speak about twin flames, and there is life after twin flames. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We want to help support the twin flame community if they are dealing with their twin flame and want to get out. So we got a couple ladies on the Zoom today, and I'll hand it back to you, Shannon, and you can see who wants to speak first.
Well, Tiffany, why don't you go first with what you were saying, because I really like what you were saying. And
okay, I'm sorry, my son had hopped in here to try and help me with my camera issues. I was just saying, when I really started diving into, like, when spirituality really got popular online right before COVID hit, everybody was talking about spirituality, twin flame this and twin flame that. And, and the way that it's put out there is like, you're okay, but you won't be complete until you get that twin flame. And then you guys become that perfect union, and then you'll be whole and blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, after a while thinking, why do I need someone else to make me complete? I'm me. I'm whole as a person myself. I don't need another person to complete me. And I ran across Shannon. I can't remember if it was Instagram or Facebook. Anyway, I ran across her, and she was like the first real person. Like, she will sit there and put it out there and be like, this is what's going to happen, but don't put up with any bullshit. Don't do this and don't do that, and don't accept this and that. And I'm like, this woman is speaking my language. This woman knows what the deal is. And as I'm following her through the years, like, let me tell you, this woman can give you some readings besides your twin flame, because she was just spot on with everything she ever told me. And I was like, she knows what she's talking about. So I start following her. And as I'm going through my own personal journey, her and I were like mirroring each other. But she's putting it out there. She's letting the world see, this is a hot mess. This is what I'm going through. I'm miserable. I'm sad. I'm crying. Whatever it was she was going through, she put it out there. And that helped me in my healing and my waking up to, I don't need this twin flame. I need me. I'm my twin flame. I'm my soulmate. I am me. I am whole. I don't need anybody else to tell me who I am. And that's when I just totally ripped right out of that twin flame soulmate kind of thing. And yes, do I want love? Yes, eventually. But you know what I wanted first? Self-love. I wanted to love myself enough to where I knew what I would accept and what I would not accept. And it's not even an ego thing. It's just I'm a 51-year-old woman. I'm not going to play games. I'm not going to do the run and chase and, that kind of thing. That's for middle school. Grow up. We're all adults, own your shit. Oh, sorry. Am I not allowed to cuss?
Yeah, we love it here. We love it. Don't worry.
Good, because I speak fluent pirate. Opening up that throat chakra. But yeah, she was so real, and that pushed me into really self-discovery and self-healing of myself. And I still followed the twin flame thing. I got all the books and I, did the stuff, but I just got to a point where I was like, I don't want to feel like I need to be with somebody else to be whole. I don't want to have to run after someone or chase after someone, because, it's fun when we're younger, but you get to a certain point, it's like, why do we have to play all these games? Why can't you just open up and talk about whatever's going on? Let's heal together. Let's grow together. Let's stop all this back and forth, runner chaser and all that. I met Shannon, ran across a few other people. I've run across one man on Facebook that throughout COVID, I was following Shannon and this one guy, Be the Rapper. And it was just amazing, because that's really what pushed me to heal myself and cut my ties from my twin. I mean, I just totally was like, I'm done. I realized, patterns in my life because of this twin, and you go back and forth. And as long as you're connected to them, you're going to keep going back and forth and back and forth. So I think the twin flame thing is great in the beginning, but for me, it was better to push me into the self-love and self-worth. And that's where I found my jam. And that's why I went into shadow work and coaching and all that kind of stuff. And that's where I sit now, healing everybody else,
I can't raise my hand for some reason, but I would like to ask you a question, Shannon, if that's okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Tiffany, did you ever get into non-duality, or you just doing the shadow work on the spiritual path and then you just came into your worth?
Honestly, not with the non-duality. I dove headfirst into the shadow work because I had a really fucked up childhood, like really lots of sexual abuse, stuff like that. So I just got to a point where nobody was taking care of me and I was taking care of everybody else. And I was like, you know what? Mama needs to step back and do it for mama, because nobody else is going to be, my kids have always been there for me throughout everything that's been going on. But, at the end of the day, you have you. You have you to depend on no matter what, right or wrong, whatever. You're what you have. So you have to build a strong foundation within yourself. So no matter what happens, stuff comes at you and just knocks you to your knees, and that's fine. Allow that to happen, process that moment. But I think that in the beginning, it all starts from this whole, because everybody's searching for this long lost love that they're just bound and determined to have. But it has to be brought back to you. Like, you have to love yourself enough before you can go out and love somebody else.
I love what you're saying. Yeah.
Did you have a question? Okay, so you try to raise your hand. Go ahead. Yes, Yasmin.
So I love what Tiffany's saying, because if there's anyone out there listening to our podcast today and is thinking, oh no, I have to go all the way to non-duality, or I have to, you can lose feelings for your twin flame on the spiritual path. And that's why we have this open forum, whether you're on the spiritual path, whether you're in non-duality, whether you're not having any spiritual path, and it works differently for every single person. Everyone has an individual story. And I love how, just by doing the shadow work, Tiffany is realizing, hey, I don't need anybody. I just need myself. So I just love the diversity of, okay, here's a non-duality story, here's a spiritual story, here's this. So yeah, I'm loving this. Thanks, Tiffany, for sharing. And I don't know if Monique has a question.
Did you have a question, Monique? Okay. Kelly, did you want to tell how you came across the concept twin flame? We do have 6 minutes left, but I did want to do a part 2. If you guys want to continue, we can do it part 2 as well.
Okay.
But
yeah.
Yeah. So when I met my twin flame, I had no idea about the concept or anything, and actually ended up going to a reading somewhere, I don't know, down in Kent or something. And the lady told me about the twin flame concept, and I was just like, oh my God, is that what's happening? But again, it was the whole you need the twin flame to come together with you and complete you and all that crap. And I say crap because I'm just like, wow. And I fell for it because I was so in love with him, and put up with his bullshit for years. We were together almost 4 years. I have not seen him or spoken to him in over 2 years now, I believe. But during that time, I would try to step back. I would try to set boundaries. And he'd always break them. Have zero respect for any of my boundaries. Would always try to break them, and I would then let him in again, and it's and then the whole cycle would start over again. But yeah, a couple of years ago, I just finally just no, I do not need this in my life at all. And I don't, it's, it's so cliche to be like, oh, and then I found myself. Well, no, I already knew who I was. I knew who I was before I met him. I know who I am now. All of that, but I did get lost in that whole, because I did feel more complete with him, which is weird because Shannon knows I'm very independent. I'm very,
Yeah.
I'm confident. All of that, but then he kind of stripped that away from me. I let him. I became the most vulnerable I've ever been in my entire life, actually, with him.
Wow.
And allowed him to then complete me, even through all the chaos. It was like, oh, but I feel so complete when I'm actually with him. Thank God it was a long distance relationship. So he's 3,000 miles away. Because literally, if I had to wonder if I'm going to run into him all the time, it would not be as easy. I can tell you that right now. Because
Kelly, I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Were you ever on a spiritual path because of him, or like before him?
No, I've pretty much been on a spiritual path my whole life, I think.
Oh,
Same.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
My
cool.
mom was very into the new agey stuff back in the 80s and all that.
So did you ever get into non-duality?
No, that I've actually never heard of before until I saw it like on Shannon's thing. I'd never actually heard of that before, but yeah, I've always kind of been on that path and really didn't have anything to do with him. But I do know that he and we came into each other's lives for very specific reasons. And, of course I couldn't see those reasons in the middle of all of it, or I would have shut it down immediately as soon as the reason was over. And for that, I'm grateful because we both benefited from that, but we just stayed in it too long, way too long.
We got 2 minutes left. I'm going to
Oh,
continue
yeah.
this on the second one. If you guys want to join, Tiffany, would you like to join the second one?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end it, and we'll go on to the second, and I'll send you an invite. Okay, and Monique, you're still coming on, right? Okay, you've been quiet. Like, what's going on with Monique?
She's trying to respect the rules. She's trying to respect the rules.
Oh. All right. Well, I'll see you guys in the next one.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.